Hey girl gang, it's Dr. Joy here and you are watching Delivering Joy MD TV. Welcome to Well Woman Wednesday. Come on in my office, girl, close that door and let's talk a little bit more about birth control today. Today we are talking about Depo Provera, also known as the shot. So make sure you keep watching for more details. All right, ladies, let's talk Depo Provera or the shot. The shot is a method of birth control that lasts for 13 to 15 weeks at a time. And just like it sounds, the shot is an injection. The injection is actually a hormone called progesterone or progestin. And that is the Provera part of the Depo. So Depo has been around for ages. Many of your mamas and grandmamas were on Depo. And so it's a tried and true medication for birth control. And also we use it quite often for abnormal periods or for pelvic pain syndromes like fibroids or endometriosis. So the Depo injection is given in a muscle. So that could be your deltoid muscle or your gluteus maximus muscle or your butt. And this injection is 150 milligrams of progestin that's given every 13 to 15 weeks. So how does Depo actually work? So the shot works by preventing ovulation. So that means that you are not actually releasing an egg when you're on the Depo Provera shot. Also, it thickens the cervical mucus. And if you caught last week's video here on the IUD also thickens cervical mucus and it keeps the sperm from having easy access to get up into the uterus and out to the fallopian tube where an egg might be waiting to be fertilized. However, as we just covered, if you're on Depo, you should not be releasing eggs or ovulating in the first place. Finally, Depo works by thinning out the lining of the uterus. That's the lining where a pregnancy would implant if a pregnancy were to occur. So like many of the other birth controls that we've covered so far in this playlist here, Depo helps to control ovulation or prevent ovulation, to thicken the cervical mucus, to get sperm trapped in the mucus versus actually getting into the uterus and out to the fallopian tube to fertilize an egg. And it thins the lining of a uterus where a pregnancy might implant if a pregnancy did somehow occur. So the most common side effects of Depo, because that's what we always want to know, is that you can have abnormal bleeding. Breakthrough bleeding is what we call it. And so folks who get their first Depo shot may experience bleeding or spotting for the entire 13 to 15 weeks the first time they get the shot. However, in most cases, that bleeding will go away with the second shot. But there are people who continue to experience abnormal bleeding with Depo. Matter of fact, that is the #1 side effect of Depo. So when someone's on Depo, I almost expect that they're gonna come back in telling me that they are having abnormal bleeding. Some folks who are on Depo will have no bleeding at all, and that's a big pro or con, depending on how you look at it, because your periods may completely stop on Depo. Another big side effect of Depo Provera is weight gain. Depo has definitely been associated with weight gain. The average is about 15 to 20 pounds within the first year of use. So if you are already struggling with your weight like me, Depo may not be the best form of birth control for you to choose. So other common side effects of Depo can include headache, nausea, breast tenderness, and depressed mood. So if you're someone already working through depression or anxiety or other mental health disorders, make sure that you talk to your gynecologist and your mental health provider prior to starting Depo. So let's kind of weigh the pros and the cons for Depo. And like we said, Depo can certainly stop your periods, and that could be a pro or a con. Some women want to see their period every month, and if that's you, Depo may not be the birth control option for you. Another pro and con is that Depo is given every 13 to 15 weeks. So you get about 3 months from one Depo injection, which is good. But the con of that is that you got to get an appointment and go and pick up your Depo from the pharmacy or go to a place that stocks Depo where they can give you your injection every 3 months. And for a lot of people who are busy and working hard, doing all these other things, it may be hard to remember that 3-month appointment. So it's good that you don't have to remember to take it every day, but you got to remember to have it done every 3 months. And most people are going to need to make an appointment at a clinic to have that Depo given. Another pro and con is that Depo is 99% effective with perfect use. Now listen, girls, perfect use. That means that you are there every 3 months like clockwork to get that injection. You never forget it. You don't get behind. You weren't on vacation on the week you were supposed to get it, but you were there. That's how perfect use works. So if you are doing perfect use, 1 out of 100 women on Depo Provera injection with perfect use is going to get pregnant. But in reality, life happens. So if you are living a busy lifestyle like me, doing a lot of things, maybe forgetting to make appointments, missing appointments, whatever, then Depo is about 94% effective, which is reasonably good use. So that means that 6 out of 100 women who are living a regular life and on Depo are going to actually become pregnant. So if you are on Depo, you can actually get your shot up to every 10 weeks. So 10 weeks is kind of the minimum amount of time that you want to pass between a Depo Provera injection. But if you are later than 15 weeks, so let's say you missed your appointment, something happened, you had to reschedule, whatever, and it's been longer than 15 weeks, then you're definitely probably going to be asked to take a pregnancy test because pregnancy can certainly occur. Another pro of Depo Provera use is that it is usually very helpful for people with chronic pelvic pain, with conditions like endometriosis or fibroids. People with heavy periods or painful periods can benefit from the effects of Depo Provera. And in addition, if you have sickle cell disease or seizure disorder, Depo Provera may be a great choice because it has been shown to be helpful with those conditions in terms of being a form of birth control for those women who are dealing with those diseases. Depo is also safe to take immediately after birth and with breastfeeding. So that's one of those birth controls that you can get right away before going home, just in case you might not make it back to that postpartum visit. But again, Depo must be given every 13 to 15 weeks. So you still need to make it back to somebody's clinic to get your shot if you're on Depo. 2 cons, and one of the reasons why I tend to promote other birth controls is that Depo Provera is not the best birth control for younger women. Women who are under the age of 25 have not built all of their bone mass yet. So our bones are not what they're going to be until we hit about age 25. So for younger women, staying on Depo Provera for longer than 2 years can cause bone loss. The great thing is that bone loss is usually reversible, but if you've been on Depo for years and years, like sometimes I see people on Depo for 10 or 15 years, bone loss is certainly a concern. And if you've been on Depo for a long time, you want to talk to your gynecologist about getting a bone scan to check to make sure that your bones are staying healthy. And also long-term Depo users should add a calcium and vitamin D supplement that you can just get over the counter. If you are on Depo Provera, you don't need to be smoking and drinking, okay? Smokers and people who have high alcohol use are much more likely to develop bone loss. So make sure that you are paying attention to your lifestyle habits. If you're on Depo, obviously we don't want people smoking on any form of hormonal birth control or just period anyway, because it's bad for your health. But certainly if you're on Depo Provera, smoking can accelerate bone loss, and drinking large amounts of alcohol can also accelerate bone loss. So live a healthy lifestyle. That's the moral of the story. And finally, one thing I would like to make clear about Depo Provera that's a con, I guess, if you look at it that way, it could be a pro, is that it can take up to 10 months for you to start ovulating again normally. That means up to 10 months before you are normally releasing an egg each month and able to get pregnant. So Depo may not be the best choice if you know that you want to have a baby in the next year, because it can take almost a year for your ovulation to come back to normal after you stop the Depo. So I hope that this video was helpful in talking about the shot or Depo Provera injection, and that now you know a little bit more about the pros and the cons. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up and make sure you post your questions and comments below in the comment section. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss a single Well Woman Wednesday episode. I'll catch you next Wednesday, ladies. Peace.